Just gonna do a quick audio test, guys. Hello guys, welcome to the stream. We are here in the lovely Majestic -8. Hopefully we don't have any problems today
bank angle
with textures and the like that we have been having in this thing often. Right, one question. Now obviously the GPU's not connected, but you have to connect it via the FMS. I've just noticed that. So, well, without power, how do we power this thing? Oh, never mind, it's just turning on anyway. Okay. I wonder why it powered on like this. Okay. We'll let that power up then, I guess. My wonder is how on earth are we being powered? Because the APU switched off, and the external power GPU isn't there, so that confuses me. So this is doing like a check on the aircraft to make sure it's all working. There we go. Perfect. Accept. And accept. Perfect. This can go onto the flight plan page. This can go on the data page. Services. And then we'll request the GPU. And this can go into exits. Actually, no, never mind. We don't do exits using that thing. We do the default key binds, which is S. It is Shift E, Shift E2, Shift E3. There we go. That is the quickest way to do it in this plane. Anyway, all's good then. All is working. And this can go into excellent. So, we're going to start getting on with our flight.
Welcome on board our Dash 8 Q400. I'm just waiting for the last of the luggage to be loaded on board. Then we'll be able to get
I'll go ahead and tune to Unicom. May as well do that
the entire flight
before we start.
Pleasant flight.
We go over to Unicom. Perfect. Now we'll go ahead and get the plane loaded up. So we want to head to the Majestic control panel, and we are taking 61 passengers on board today. So we're a lot more full, and then 3 in the front. There go 61, and we have a zero fuel weight of 24.1 once we put. What's our fuel weight actually? We need 2390 on the fuel today. Calculate, and that'll calculate our zero fuel weight as well, zero fuel mass it calls it in this plane, which is 23.7. We're looking for 24.1, so I'll probably stick 10 bags in the front maybe, and then another 20, then maybe 20 in the back. 24.1, perfect, with 61 packs. So send data to flights in, that'll pause the game. We'll bring that back off my screen now and we'll unpause it. Perfect. Right, fuel. We just want to do the weights first, so 61. You know what, before we faff around, let's go ahead and get rid of that. Perfect. Cargo, we have We have 400... How much? It doesn't tell us the sum of our cargo. Great, thank you. There you go, 510, it says down there. 510. So that'll calculate our zero fuel weight, 24.1, perfect. And then the fuel, we are taking 2390. And boom, that'll calculate our gross weight. So perfect. That's all been done. We can go ahead and start GSX now. We'll need parking brakes first. Hopefully we don't have too many hiccups with this plane today, but we will wait and see. 61, we're on one on Vatsim. There's currently no ATC or anything over here. So, for now, just sit here with what we've got. Gonna use Aviator for ground handling, I guess. Oh, there we go. And let's get the plane set up. What do you remember to operate the jetway? GSX, you okay? You can't attach a jetway to this thing, just saying. It looks like it's been raining to me. Oh, it's raining. I was going to say it looks like it's raining. Unfortunately, we're not going to get any rain effects on the window. We're going to be anti-ice then on takeoff. And that is confirmed, yeah, it has just started raining on the latest weather report for Bergen. Oh, that's not nice. Okay. I can hear the rain. Unfortunately, I can't see it on the web, on the thing. That's a shame. So I think that must be a limitation of FSX, you know. Oh well. Should we pretend driving the wipers on? No. Oh. Cool. Right, let's go ahead and start planning the flight then. So we are on the ground here in ENBR, Bergen, Flesland Airport, and we are heading to. Okay, let's get the departure tuned first. So winds are 0 at 3 knots. So probably a runway. Well, it's variable, so it's anything. Here you go. Runway 35. That sounds perfect. So runway 35 is going to be a bit of a weirdish departure. It's like that at Bergen for both airports. It's because of the mountains in the area. It's quite a nice airport, this Bergen. I've flown out of it a few times before. Right, where is... We go to menu and then departure. We are using runway 35 and we are taking the GoCa to Delta, so number 3. Enter that. And then from GoCab we are taking L24 obviously, because there's nothing else, to Adopi, which is number 3. And then from Adopi, that'll be to ENGM. There we go. Oslo Gardermoen. We could have done this one to Oslo Sandefjord, which is the other Oslo airport, the smaller one, but I decided to do it to Gardermoen. Because why not? We've got some nice scenery for there as well, nice up-to-date scenery. And I've got GSX working with it now as well, so perfect. Anyway, we want to go to menu. I made the tutorial video about that. I need to do that. And we are arriving. Let's have a look at the weather. Why does this thing always, like, forget? Oh, yeah, I need to delete the no link, that's why. Right. And then we go to menu and it should pick up what airport we're landing at. So the weather down in Gardermoen is raining as well. 190 at 14. So it's going to be a one way 19 for certain. You know, there's no question about that. So let's go over to here. There you go. Runway 19 right we're expecting at the moment. I'll take 19 right then. Is, you know, add that. It's with the bavard transition. I know how to do that because we did it with the A320 as well. So it's going to be 19 right, that's number 4. And the Adopi 3 mic, number 2. Transition is going to be no transition. We're going to use ILS 19 right with the bavard transition. Enter that. Perfecto. And we should now see everything all working on here. Delete the no links. delete where that says ILS19 right, because I'm fed up with that. It doesn't do anything. It's just a pain. Right, and that's perfect then. Really, I should have had a no-link actually in there, but never mind. On this screen now, let's go ahead and get the APU fired up actually. I think GSX is already finished. And with this plane, it's so quick to actually load. By the time I'm finished planning the flight, everything's already on board ages ago. I mean, even with 61 passengers, which is the most we've had in this plane for a while. And then we want to go to crossfill. We want to crossfill the flight plan and crossfill the fuel. That means the APU's on, because for some reason, you know, there's no sound of it starting up, and then it's suddenly the loudest thing in the world. I want to make sure the bleeds are on. I want to make sure all the pitot heats are turned on. And I think we're going to need anti-ice today, aren't we? Because it is very cloudy. Yeah, it's very cloudy, 11 degrees. But it's the fact that it's raining, we need anti-ice because it's going to be cold up there. So we'll use anti-ice once we get in the air, probably. Make sure I can see the yoke again, and that is perfect. Let's have a look at our route then quickly. So we jump out, nice simple route, and then it's straight on to the arrival. We need to be at 10,000 at GM 452, and then just Bergen. I'll probably do the descent myself, honestly, given what we've got. Anyway, that should be it then. We can go ahead and get the anti-collision lights on, and that should be about it really. Everything looks pretty much ready, so should we get ourselves pushed back? I think we should. No need to announce anything on Unicorn. There's no one else here, so let's go ahead and get ourselves pushed back. Prepare for pushback and departure, please. GSX, we've been waiting for boarding to complete. What are we waiting for? Huh? What? Seriously, what are we waiting for? It says boarding passengers now. What if I open and reopen the door? Was that a bug? No, it wouldn't have been telling me then to open the doors. Okay. Well, I'll give the GSX the time it takes me to set up the plane. Otherwise, I will just cancel them and then ask them to just do pushback, because I don't get how boarding is still going on. That confuses me quite a lot, really. Right, this can go back to the fuel page, 250 miles, which is about what we were planning today. Both flights are going to be that long, so it might be closer to a 3-hour flight. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's what it was. The baggage hadn't arrived yet. Oh, well. We'll let them load the baggage then. They're a bit slow, but never mind. And the TCAS can be turned on now, basically. Where is it, anyway? It was somewhere around here, wasn't it? Oh, am I being dumb? It says there, look, TCAS off. Oh, there's no... There's a dial on those planes. In this plane, you have to hold that down. There you go. Transponder is working. Everything's all ready to go then. Right, out select. I want to select out. No, we need to do IAS first. So IAS, and then up to probably about. Is there any restrictions on the climb? Out today. I'll go ahead and bookmark the airport page, and I'll bookmark our SID today, the 2 Delta. We're going to be at max 250 knots, but this thing doesn't get above 250 knots anyway, so 220 will set on initial IAS. It might go up a little bit later. And then alt select, we want to climb, well, there's no altitude restrictions, so transition altitude is 7,000 here. We'll just go straight up to our cruise altitude, which is 19,000 today. Perfect. We want no ATC, no restrictions, so perfect. Straight up to 19,000 it is. Scenery might be slightly out of place, like by a little bit, but not too bad. Right, let's go ahead and...
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Go ahead and close all the doors now. There you go, close all the doors. Everything's all closed and everything's all good. We'll just check up here, make sure it's all good, make sure the APU is powering us.
Gear.
Cool. They are locking the gear. And we'll make sure that LNAV is set on here as well. To do that, we need to make sure that's set to FMS1. There we go. And we'll make this set to NAV1. Perfect. That is us all ready to go. We'll push back left.
Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted. Release parking brakes. Push. All engines clear. Start at wheel.
Right, engine 2, start. And we should start to see it rise. We need to put it in start and feather. There's 20. That can go to normal. There we go, and the engine should start to fire up. Landing flaps. Now, I looked up a landing calculator for this thing. Turns out, really, you should be using flaps 15 to get a decent landing speed. Otherwise, the plane's a bit too slow. I discovered that. I didn't really know. The way I plan landings is literally the maximum flaps is the best one, which isn't necessarily always true. So, yeah, I discovered that. So, don't listen to the announcements. Not 2 hours. It's about an hour actually. I think we've got 52 minutes. The first flight. The second flight I haven't dispatched yet because it can cause some problems with things like Navigraph charts and Vatsim pre-file, because it uses the latest sim brief flight. Right, there we go. The engines are looking all good, so we can get them up to max power now. We're flying the lovely Nordic livery Dash 8 here with Fly UK. We don't often fly them. Also, I need to set the pressure actually. Pressing B doesn't work on this aircraft, weirdly. There we go, 998.
Set parking brakes. Waiting your confirmation for good engine start.
Yeah, and for some reason this GSX doesn't recognise when the engines are started, so we'll just say stop and complete. Tax lights can come on now. What's this? Oh, I didn't do the anti-skid test. I'll do that now. There you go, that's gone now. So just the parking brake warning light up there, which is what we want. We'll just let the ground crew finish doing what they're doing.
Unlocking gear.
And we're all ready to go.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
Right, weather radar is on. We just want to make sure the weather radar is working, so... There we go, on. The weather radar is now on. We see WX on. Now I don't know why it thinks everything's blue for a bit. It just does. We'll probably need anti-ice today.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Cool, right. We'll set flaps 5 for takeoff now. Everything's all ready to go. What do you mean clear to start engines? It's a weird bug that GSX does. Already started the engines. It does it at this airport. Anyway, we're taxiing now to runway 35, so we want to head that way. We want to head left. The scenery does look like it's slightly out of place, I think. So we might have to watch that. But we're going to head down, all the way down Yankee. Yes, all the way down Yankee. To the runway, which is 35. It's a very basic airport, this Bergen. Not very big. I think the scenery is roughly in the right place. At least the taxiways appear to be, maybe. Yeah, taxiway Yankee appears to be in the correct place mostly. So all the way down here to the end of the runway, we have got some bad weather showing on there. I need to have, actually, yeah, good point. Seatbelt signs, where are they? We're going to need anti-ice. So we'll turn that on just before we take off, I think, because we're definitely going to need it, no question about that. It's not the nicest of weather above Norway today. We've got, the clouds are broken at 900 feet, and there's a few at 400 feet apparently, so we've got some very low cloud. It's not the best day for flying here in Norway. Oh well. That is a bit of a shame, but never mind. And I'm going to have to be using the mouse yoke for the rudder, providing, you know, hopefully I won't skid all over the runway. That reminds me, actually, let's pause the game quickly. Let's go into controls. We haven't got any ATC, so it doesn't matter if we pause the game. I want to set up something right now to activate the mouse yoke. I use the comma key normally, and it's a lot easier than mouse flight control. There. Okay, for some reason this plane does decide to do that. Oh, here you go. Looks like the clouds aren't too thick, really. That's nice. It's a shame you can't get any, effects on the window. I'd absolutely love that if we could get rain effects on the windows. I guess, you know, FSX can't really manage that. Never mind. Right, taxiing down here to the end of the runway, which looks like, again, slightly out-of-date scenery, as in real life now, you can go all the way down to Alpha 9 to the end of the runway, but you can't in this game with this scenery. And this scenery is a bit old. It's very old, actually, this scenery, but it's the newest you can get without going Airports of Norway, which is a pack that was done. It was a pack that was done to make sure that you could get loads of airports, like all nice photorealistic scenery in Norway, but it's a bit of a pain to install. And I tried to start installing it, I was just like, ugh. Honestly, too much of a faff. So I left it in the end, because you can find just as good sceneries on Avsim and things. They're a little bit out of date, but again, how often do I fly into Norway? You know, it's not that often. And on Oslo, I managed to get great scenery for outside of Airports of Norway. Right, on go the landing lights. Off goes the taxi lights. Everything is all ready up there. APU can come off now. No warning lights up there. Perfect. Let's get ourselves underway here in Bergen Airport. Right. Initial power is set. The clock is automatic on this plane, by the way. And away we go. Time to use mouse flight control now for when this thing starts to be a pain. Luckily the winds are basically fine. And there we go, we actually got in the air successfully in this plane. That's never happened before. Positive rate, gear up. Yeah, normally I can't do a good takeoff in this thing, that's amazing. Autopilot can still come on immediately. And we'll let this thing climb now. Go ahead and get rid of the flaps, that should help it gain some speed, hopefully. And yeah, we'll let it climb. It doesn't look like the clouds are quite as low as it said they were. Transition altitude is 7,000 here. Plane's not really wanting to gain any airspeed because this plane is intent on just absolutely mashing the vertical speed, but you know, we are getting blown off course a little bit here. There's a little bit of turbulence and you can see that the weather's actually red over there, but unfortunately, you know, we can't really avoid it, can we? Because again, this thing's weather radar only shows that. If I turned, it would probably be the same. It's a bit annoying that with this plane, about the weather radar, you know, it doesn't show quite as much as it could. But yeah, we're in the air, actually above the clouds already, even though I don't really remember climbing through many clouds. We're finally gaining speed now, past 190 knots. This thing just likes to do quite a fast initial climb, obviously, you know, and it appears that the mouse yoke is doing good for us, which is nice, and using a comma is a nice quick way of activating it as well. So Seems all good. That's all set up there. Perfect. And we're above the clouds. So hopefully we can be free of some of this weather now. As you can see, it's going less red where we're approaching. And this thing can finally settle down and gain some airspeed. And I'll set the cruise speed now to 225. That will drop down again later, but just for now. We're already up at 5,000 feet, which is quite nice. We've done a pretty good climb, and then we'll be turning to the right here at Adido. And at Rolgu, there's meant to be like a restriction of we'll see. It's meant to be a restriction of 250 knots max, but this thing can't even do that. So we're coming up on transition altitude quite soon, passing 6,000 feet now. There's 225 knots, look, so this thing can start climbing a little bit quickly. Nice, we've had a pretty good departure then out of Bergen. Pretty successful as flights in this thing go. Right, weather down in Oslo. It is raining down in Oslo, 190 at 14, but perfect for our runway then. Anti-ice, we didn't seem to have much of a problem with actually. I never turned it on, and we didn't need it. We've got no ice warning. So, I guess, despite the fact that it was raining and it was cloudy, it wasn't cold enough maybe, because the dew point was about 9 degrees. So, I think the dew point is the rain, right? Like the temperature of the rain falling. And it wasn't in a minus, and you only need anti-ice if the temperature's under 5 degrees. That's how it works. Under 5 degrees you're meant to use anti-ice. Right, we're passing 8,000 feet now. Because this thing climbs pretty quickly below 10,000, we're going straight to Rolgu now. That's what this thing's worked out as being the best climb. From Rolgu we head on to our we head to on our airway to Adopi, pretty much, even though the star doesn't end, the SID doesn't end until GoCap, it's just a nice straight line anyway. Perfect, that was a nice successful departure from Bergen then. Maybe I'm getting used to flying this plane, who knows? Because what we're doing now is basically flying back along the route we just took off on. It's how the departures work here at Bergen. Anyway, there you go, landing lights can come off now. I'll wait on the seatbelt signs a little bit. This can go back to 220 knots now. Oh, we passed transition altitude already. I should have done that a bit earlier. There we go. Now, for some reason, my plane takes the in-game's word for it. My overlay thing, it seems to take a different reading for the altitude that must still be set to transition altitude. Maybe if it's tuned with the game, because the way it works in FSX, the transition altitude in the game is 18,000 no matter where you're flying. So when you're at 18,000, so when we go above 18,000, if it suddenly corrects with what we're flying with, that'll kind of show what's going on there. I've got to remember as well, like, decision height is radio altitude, not barrow, and you can't actually change that, I don't believe. I don't know what NDA is, but minimum decision altitude maybe, but I'll be using decision height because that's what it says on the charts. There you go, now I've set it down to 220 knots, this thing's doing a pretty nice climb. I'm going to ease, I should have eased that back a little bit earlier maybe. Should have eased it back to 900 RPM rather than the full amount, but I didn't do that, so but that means this thing is going to have a little bit of a slower climb now, but we're still pretty good. We're still at a nice solid 1,700 feet per minute, so absolutely fine. We're going up to 19,000 today. Don't know what it's been on the way back, probably something around 20,000 feet on the way back. But this thing will start to climb very, very slowly as we get higher. So as this drops below like 1,200 feet per minute, or let's say 1,300 feet per minute, when it drops below that, I'll drop the speed to 210 knots to make sure we can actually maintain a decent climb. Right, now we're stable and heading in a straight line. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the seatbelt signs, let everyone walk around, because we've got no more bad weather. We're all good above the lovely the lovely airport, the lovely country of Norway. Norway does provide some lovely scenery in this game, and it mixes with the clouds as well. It is really properly nice. Well, I've just got 5,000 feet left to run now up to cruise. We've got about 220 miles left to run, apparently. However, it could be because I deleted the no link after. Oh, hang on a minute, we've got a duplicate waypoint here. I just noticed a doodie was on there twice. Right, we're coming up on 1,400 feet per minute. There you go. This thing's starting to lose its climb speed now. So I'll drop it back a little bit to 210. That's the thing, even though this plane can go up to like 25,000 at cruise, I don't like to have it at that altitude. I really don't like it, because it takes so long to climb there. It's like a snail. And you have to drop it down to like 190 knots cruise, like climb speed. It's a nightmare. But yeah, 210 knots seems to be okay for us as the engine power is dropping back. We're passing 17,000 now, so not too long left until cruise, and then we will just sit there then until we need to descend. In fact, let's go ahead and get our arrival charts set up. So a Doppy 3 mic, get that pinned. ILS 19er right. And that's it, I think. There's no... Oh yeah, get a taxi chart assigned as well. There doesn't appear to be one with the transition on it. But yeah, so we need to be at 10,000 at GM 428 lurk. And then from there, I'll probably manage the descent myself. So we'll get the plane to do an auto descent. We need to be at max 220 knots from GM 428. But again, this thing doesn't really, it rarely clocks above that. So wouldn't surprise me. And it doesn't matter really. But this thing just doesn't do above that. We were looking for a true airspeed today of about 317, apparently, according to SimBrief. I somehow doubt that, but never mind. We'll see what this thing can manage now. We've got a bit of a tailwind as well. But yeah, true airspeed about 280 right now. I don't think it'll be managed. Normally it's about 300 knots, a true airspeed in this aircraft. Because we need to get the right cruise speed. The right fuel flow on cruise, which is about 460-ish. There you go, give it a bit more power, about 60%, look, 55 to 60%, there we go. And this thing is now basically at cruise. So we can let it sit here. And then what we want to do, this thing's taking age to climb this last few feet. And the speed, as you can see, is now going up. We want to go to VNAV, and then we want to go, vertical to number 5, waypoint number 5. There. So top of descent, this thing is in about 100 miles. How is there that bad weather all of a sudden? The weather was fine, and then I changed the range, and all of a sudden the weather's terrible. That makes absolutely no sense. So yeah, check VNAV, there you go, 103 miles, 21 minutes, roughly, till our descent. So we've got quite a while up here. And you can see they go about 300 on the true airspeed is what we're hitting. I'll power it back a teeny bit. Save a little bit of fuel. We should be landing with plenty of fuel, so we're all fine. We're landing with about an hour and a half spare, is what the plane thinks. Yeah, I don't know what this mad weather's about that doesn't exist, but I don't see any clouds or anything, so a little bit odd, especially considering when we were in like 10 nautical mile range, this didn't exist. Who knows what happened there? A little bit of fuel. We should be landing. Everything's all working good there. Nice. But yeah, this stream will probably be quite long. I'm just thinking that, like, this flight is going to be quite, you know, because we've got to do the return then. And the flight is a little bit longer than I thought, because I think I always forget how slow the Dash 8 is. Like, if we were in an A320, this flight would probably be about 20 minutes shorter. Maybe 10 minutes, because of all the procedures and things, but yeah. Let's get our decision altitude set. So decision height for a Cat 1 on the ILS is going to be 200. So we'll set, well, that's default, 200. Because it's, remember, 200 feet radio altitude, because that's how it works in, because this plane uses DH, not DA. It uses DH. Actually, I think I can set it to use Barrow, thinking about it. What if I switch that to NDA, but then that puts it on the other side? I'll use DH, because that's the default in this plane. I'll use decision height, that's what comes as the default. And we'll go ahead and tune the ILS now. The localizer frequency is 1113. Set that in there, and you can see there it says ILS, so we know we've tuned an ILS. And we want to tune the course round to, the course we need is 193. And that doesn't work because it's on this side. Because that thing does the nav, this thing does the other stuff. There you go, actually we have gained a decent amount of speed here with the proper fuel flow, which is about 450 to 460, look. And that's about 310 true airspeed, so not bad. Only a little bit slower than planned. No ice detector. I don't know what all this bad weather is that the plane is saying is constantly here, that isn't here, but whatever. We're heading to Olven. From there, it's actually to Adopi. I think we are descending after Adopi, even. When we're descending now, we're descending in about 86 miles, so 17 minutes, this thinks, and that's to be at 10,000 feet at GM 428. So we've got to drop 9,000 feet to there. But it is quite long, you know, because that's at 1,800 feet per minute, remember, so should all be fine, I guess. And I've got about 180 miles to go, apparently. And we've flown 60. There we go. We've been in the air 15 minutes. Yeah, 52 minutes the flight's meant to take. I don't know what the flight back is going to be yet, but we'll wait and see. It looks very nice out there, really, I'd say. Look at that. Not too bad, the weather. Let's have a look at active sky then for Oslo. We should have a weather update soon for Oslo. Hopefully. But not at the moment. We're currently the only plane in the area. So QNH down there is 0, 9 and 9 are 7. I'll look at the charts now. Transition level is done by ATC. Obviously we don't have ATC online, so I'll look at a SIG chart which will tell me the transition altitude, add 1,000 to that, and it should give us, normally a transition level is either 2,000 or 1,000 above the transition altitude, but typically it's 1,000. At some airports it is 2,000, but I'll use the rule that it's 1,000 because it tends to be, and the transition altitude is 7,000, so it'll probably be 8,000. The transition altitude, no, transition level, that's what we're going to go on, but it's 8,000 because there's no ATC online. In terms of rules, we've got to basically just, well, it's quite simple really, just max 250 knots, we've got to stick with like descent via ATC, things like that. So we merge with the ILS at Bavard, which we are of course taking the Bavard transition. Now we just need to make sure that the landing altitude is set. Airport elevation is apparently 681. So, and yep, Active Sky agrees with that, 681. So we'll go ahead and set. They go 624 is the closest to that, so we'll set that. Yeah, 314 on the true airspeed now, so pretty much exactly what Tim Brief said we could do. Not bad. This thing is very slow at gaining speed when it cruises, but it can go fairly fast once we're up there. I mean, it's not typically, at this sort of altitude, an Airbus A320 could probably do about 370, 380 knots. But 19,000, obviously this thing can't do that. We've got 11 minutes to go to Adopi. So we're descending just after Adopi, about 7 miles after we'll be descending there. And that'll get us apparently to 10,000. Now remember, we need to be at a max of 220 knots, however, as you can see, even up at cruise, we're pretty much at a max of 220 knots, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. I don't know why our weather radar keeps saying there's bad weather ahead, and there hasn't been any bad weather at all. Who knows why. We've got no ATC, no planes even heading for Oslo, so no need to report anything on Unicom or anything, so it is very quiet on the Vatsim network today. There's very little in the way of ATC anywhere in Europe, really. London Gatwick's got some ATC online, but apart from that, nothing really. It's weird that for some reason our plane thinks that 29902 means we're not at our proper altitude. It's weird. I don't know, it's a slight weirdness going on. Yeah, it's very cloudy above Norway. We are going to have some clouds coming into Oslo Gardermoen. The clouds are going to break at 1,000. We're going to have a few at 800 feet, so that might cause us some issues with minimums, but it should be okay. Now this thing I don't think can do a Cat 2 or 3 approach. It can't auto land itself, so the minimums we've got, which is 200 feet radio altitude, are the minimums we've got. Quite simple. And yeah, runway 19 right is going to be what we're using today. And hopefully if you look there, I've assigned it properly. Yep, 19 right. All perfect. Yeah, after GM 452, I'll manage the descent myself. We need to be at Zinlo at 3,500 on the ILS. 3,000. That's where at Zinlo. That's where the ILS path starts in terms of the glide path. And we need to start it at 3,500. So as long as we're at 3,500 at Zinlo, it should be okay. But that's probably what I'll set as my next VNAV. Maybe I will do that. I'll do VNAV afterwards to get a top of descent from 10,000 possibly. Although maybe it would just be wiser to descend at about 1,000 feet per minute. I don't know what it says on the charts in terms of glide. Doesn't really say anything. Haven't really changed its procedures since I last flown it, so all fine. I mean, it's to be at 250 knots at Adopi and Exuda, but again, as you can see, we're already under that, so that's not really a speed restriction for us. It recommends. I don't understand this, look. So you have to be, like, try to understand this. You have to be at 10,000, look, here, and yet, why does it say 6,000? What does that mean? Because by saying 6,000, presumably that means that's the altitude you should be at, roughly. But then you need to be at 10,000 here, so that's kind of makes no sense. Does really confuse me, the altitudes that you see along the side. I mean, it can't be a recommended altitude because it doesn't fit in with the restrictions. I don't know, maybe if we had ATC they would let us go past restrictions. Obviously, you know, ATC does often let us go past. No, ATC does often let you go, unless they say descend via star, they often let you descend all the way down without restrictions, so that's probably what it is. Yeah, it's been a pretty stable flight so far. Hopefully the landing's good though, that's the important see what I mean? Look, this weather radar is weird. It could be the tilt. It's meant to be set to auto, but there is no auto on this plane. I don't really know how you handle it. Also, let's get the rudder trim set. But it's the yeah, you're meant to set like it's not the gain, it's the tilt, look. You're meant to set it to something, but I don't know what it means totally. And in most planes, see that are changed, look. In most planes, there's an auto, but this plane doesn't have an auto setting. And you can see it does vary quite a bit what we see on there. But I'm just going to set it at 0 degrees because that won't alter what it sees, I guess. I've had some new weather through for Oslo. It's exactly the same actually. QNH 90907, 190. Yeah, literally the weather from there, it hasn't changed at all. So we're fine. It's 10 degrees, 2.8, so we should be all fine. Looking quite nice outside. It's a nice livery, this Nordic livery. And it is rather nice. But yeah, hopefully we don't burst the tyre on landing. I don't even mind if it, like, the landing we had in Southampton, I know it was very hard when you compare it to something that we do in a 737 or a 787, but really, it wasn't that bad compared to the other landing in Jersey. So I'd be happy with anything that doesn't burst the tyres, honestly. I've learned I watched back the replay of both landings on stream, and I found that basically when the speed went below 120 knots, that's where I had issues. So I'm going to look up now -8 landing speed calculator. And there is a website that does it called V-Speed Calculator. So we're gonna, I don't know what we're gonna be landing with. What's our current weight? Because we can only lose a certain amount, obviously. So our current weight, we had originally 24. They got zero fuel weight is 24.1. So let's say 25,000 kilos. We'll probably be landing with, and we'll say flaps 15. It's not icing. Calculate that, and you can see that. Approach speed 120, reference 119, and then the touchdown, which I think, yeah, VGA. So basically, at 120 knots, we want to approach at 120 knots. But if we were to use flaps 15, look, that would be 114 knots, which we don't want. We don't want that. So flaps 15 we're going to use for landing today, because anything, we want to keep it basically around that level. So it seems as if a flaps 15 arrival is more suited to this plane than a full flaps landing. I don't know why, but that's what it appears as. Right, I can see our top of descent on there now. Still a little bit away. Been up here, you know, this thing doesn't really chew up miles, so I can't say it's been chewing up miles, but it's been doing something. It's nice looking livery, this. As I said, we've got a nice little cabin in here. My favourite kind of cabin, you know, not the best of detail, perfect, because you still get to see the cabin and it doesn't lag out the game. And we've got a nice little engine. It's fairly big engines, but obviously they're props, so they don't do a lot in terms of speed. This thing's, we've got 21 minutes left to run. Don't know about that. Who knows? The weather radar's being useless as always, saying there's bad weather ahead when there isn't. I wonder, it must be something to do with the tilt maybe being set wrong. There must be something up there. Nothing with the dash 8. If there's like icing conditions, you're meant to use flaps 35. I think that means it's in like maybe a wet runway and things, but I don't know if you're using anti-ice and all that. That's one thing as well, we haven't actually needed anti-ice today, which is quite strange. That's with the temperature. I think it was colder when we flew on Thursday, and I can't really remember, but that must be why, because we didn't need anti-ice on our departure from Bergen, but we literally flew through clouds while it was raining, which is generally advised to have anti-ice on, but as you can see, well, it was above 5 degrees, and we had no warning to need anti-ice, because the anti-ice is automatic on this plane, so if we... Okay, it is actually anti-icing things. What could it possibly be anti-icing if there's no ice? Because one thing is, right, you can see ice forming on the windscreen. That's kind of a clear indication there is ice about as well. And I don't know whether it forms on the wings, but if it did form on the wings, I can't see it right now. Let's have a look. Next time we get an ice warning, I'll have a look on the wings to see if we get any kind of thing like that. I just noticed there's like slightly dirt textures, look. Like from wear and things. That's quite cool. Right, let's set this down to 20 nautical mile range now, because I'm starting to see my arrival. Because we've actually just gone on to our arrival chart now. So we've got 8 miles to go to Adopi, and then shortly after Adopi is where we're going to start our descent. You can see there at 2 minutes, 13 miles. And that will get us to GM 428 at 10,000, apparently. And we're 39 miles out right now. And you can see it slowly coming down. Or not, actually slightly going up. We're not quite at top of descent yet. Because remember, we've only got 9,000 feet to descend. It's not a massive amount. Plane. It's not time to descend yet, plane. Why has the plane started descending? Can anyone explain that? And then it suddenly decides not to descend. Was that turbulence or what? We've lost our speed quite a bit as well. Our cruise airspeed's actually down to 310 now. So that's... I think the wind direction might be changing a bit. There we go. Right, there's Exuda, so we'll turn now. It's very close now to starting our descent. Very slight turn, not a very large turn at all, really. And we are now on to our arrival, our star. Weather's looking awesome. We should have sunny weather in about 15 minutes time, 10 to 15 minutes. The weather delay seems to be quite long at Oslo. So even though the weather should be coming out now, normally there's a 5 to 10 minute delay. It looks like it's more like a 15-minute delay at Oslo. So we should receive something about weather in the next 10 to 15 minutes, hopefully. It's nuts that this thing is still at cruise altitude and we've started our star, though. I know it's quite a long star, I think, isn't it? We're still 100 miles now, obviously, but... And then after 10,000, look, we've got to be... Actually, we've still got to be at 10,000, look, at GM 452, so we're going to be remaining at 10,000 for quite a while. That's going to be like a little mini cruise altitude, almost. So I'll probably put the power back up for that. So we've got like a 2-stage descent, almost. Because we have to be at 10,000 for like the whole procedure. I remember that when we were flying with the A320, when we were flying in, but obviously the ATC gave us a little thing. Oh, what's this message we've received? Alerter above VNAV altitude. Oh, that means the VNAV's active. Perfect. VNAV, and down to 10,000. And this thing should start to follow. Right, go back on the power now. Minimum on there. Perfect. And this thing should hopefully just maintain speed. because we haven't got to be at max 220 knots for a little bit. We've got max 250 knots right now, so make sure we don't go above that, but that shouldn't be too difficult. And this thing should hopefully just follow its own descent path down to GM 428, where we've got to be at 10,000, and we'll stay there for a few miles, and then be able to descend further then from there. Cool. Okay, so far then, we're doing alright in this plane. Don't want to jinx it. We're going to have a bad landing, aren't we? But I'm going to try everything in my power for that not to happen. But with a mouse yoke as a rudder, I can only do so much. Hopefully I have learnt from my mistake there of using full flaps on landing, and learned that that isn't really generally a good idea in this plane, and that you should stay above 120 knots, preferably. Otherwise, this thing becomes quite hard to handle, so... I mean, Oslo's got massive runway, so it should be no problem to a -8. I don't know how I haven't learned that, really, because, I mean, generally with the smaller VFR planes we fly, there is quite a simple rule. When you put in max flaps, the plane becomes very hard to handle, so maybe it's... You know, it always wants to pitch down and things. Maybe it's like that with this plane, because it's still... I mean, it's a propeller plane, and it is... I mean, it's not massive. It's got a maximum capacity of about 75, so... You know, it's not like a little teeny regional jet, but it's not like some massive A320. It's somewhere in between. Why did this thing suddenly go into pitch hold mode? I think we just lost the VNAV path, maybe. Okay, the VNAV path actually just went away, and I've had to re-enable it. But it's still sticking at 1800 feet per minute, though. It doesn't seem to mind. Why does this always think we're at cruise when we're descending? Is it something I'm doing with the plane or what? Like, it's so annoying. But yeah, we're descending nicely at 1800 feet per minute here. I don't know what's happened to the VNAV path. It's sort of gone. It is catching back up, look, but apparently we're slightly too low by about 600 feet. But I think it's catching up slightly with us, look. Just very slowly. And then we've got to be at 10,000, look, the whole way. Right, seatbelt signs can come on now, as we are descending. Transition altitude, I'm going to say 8,000. It'll probably be somewhere around there. I'll give it a bit more power now, because we're going to need some more power once we... Actually, no, we need to be below 220 knots, actually, so I'll still get rid of the power. And I'll put it back up. Maybe we'll cruise at about 350 to 400 kilograms on the fuel flow. There you go, this thing's VNAV path is catching back up now. We're descending pretty nicely, really, on this path down to 10,000. The altitude select is in place, so it should be okay. Yeah, it's just in pitch hold mode, so it's going to keep holding 1800 feet per minute until it knows otherwise, I think. Yeah, not bad. Down to 10,000. We've got one plane now on the ground in Oslo. Okay. Departing. Don't know where it's going. ENEV. It's going to Harstad Narvik. That sounds very... I don't know, it's somewhere in Scandinavia, I think. Somewhere quite northern, but I don't know much more than that. We're not going to bother flicking on landing lights or anything until we go below 10,000. Altitude select is selected, so this thing should be okay. We've met 10,000 perfectly at this waypoint, so this plane has planned a pretty good descent for us. And now it's evening out, I'll bring the power back up to 900 RPMs. And I'll give it a little bit more to make sure we can maintain this speed now. Once this thing sort of starts to slow down its descent, because we're going to be here at 10,000 now for quite a bit. I'll do the descent manually down to Bavard. Was FPA too steep? What's too steep? We made 10,000 in time, so no problem there. Seems as if we're having to cruise at a pretty normal rate, actually, to stay at this decent speed. There you go, we're now slowly at 10,000. Now we're going to be here for a little bit until GM452, and then I will be able to descend properly. After 452, so that'll be above 5,000 at Bavard, so down to 5,000, and I'll do that manually. I'll just do it manually, probably about 1,000 feet per minute, something like that. But I'll do it all manually because it's a lot easier. You know, that's the thing. You can use a VNAV in this plane for the initial descent, but then after that, after the restrictions and things have passed, it's quite difficult to use the VNAV when you're not descending from cruise. It's a little bit more, doesn't work quite as well. Basically, it's just easier to do it yourself at a lower feet per minute rate or something. But I don't mind. How long does this plane think we've got left to go now? This plane thinks 13 minutes left. Okay. We've got 66 miles to go apparently. Not bad. And we still think there's bad weather about. Who knows now? But yeah, I can't actually wait to see the return flight. I am getting more into this plane as I'm flying it more. Just got to hope that we don't have a bad landing, really. That's going to be an important thing. But, you know, hopefully the mouse doesn't fail me with the rudder once we touch down, and obviously as long as I keep above 120 knots on approach, it should all be fine, and the plane should actually pitch up when I want it to, unlike what it's done previously and then just smacked into the ground like at Jersey. Problem is, it doesn't give you a stall warning, but that's basically what's happening. It's basically not able to climb because of the airspeed, but it doesn't give you a warning about it, because stall speed apparently is like way lower than that, according to the plane. So once we're inbound Bavard, I'll post a message on Unicom saying what we're doing. There's no point any further than that, but yeah. We're approaching GM452 now in the next few miles, and that will allow us past 10,000. So I'll set this down to 5,000. This thing is still on VNAV. Right, cancel VNAV. I'm not interested in having a VNAV path now. I'll do it myself from where we are now. So yeah, we'll do it manually, the descent. Probably about 1,000 feet per minute. It's 19 miles we've got to cover. So, what's that? By the way, this thing's 4 minutes. 4 minutes, 5,000 feet. By the time we factor in slowing down and all the rest of it, and we're going to have a slight crosswind that's going to be actually, so that doesn't really matter that much. So it'll be a roughly maybe 1,100 feet per minute if we discover it's a little bit off, but something like that. And throughout, we've got to stay under 220 knots as well. And then on the ILS, we've got to be max 200 knots at a duty, and then that's the only speed restriction. So maximum 200 knots on approach. That should be okay in this plane. Really? Right, we've got 5.5 miles until we're allowed down past 10,000 feet now. Just check that there should have been some updated weather through now for Gardermoen. And nope, it's been 11 minutes since we went to have a weather update. Nothing. If I check the METAR, we might have had something. Yep, the METAR's through. 19015, perfect, hasn't really changed. QNH 998, so pressure's gone up by 1. And clouds are broken at 1,000. We've no longer got a few. But it doesn't say about rain. Maybe you can't tell that from a METAR. I don't think so. Or maybe there is a way to tell, I just can't read it properly. It's probably what it is. Right, Bavard is now our active waypoint, 4 minutes. So, altitude select, vertical speed, and down by about 1,000 feet per minute. Let's say 1,100 feet per minute. No, 1,000 should be okay. Because remember, it's above 5,000, not at 5,000, so that's more important. And the landing lights can come on now as well. I'll try to make sure. But well, there's now 2 planes on the ground in Oslo. There's a Wizz Air going to Krakow as well. Nice. Whoa, we're getting blown around a little bit by this wind. Not the nicest of wind. I can hear the turbulent effects that we're having currently. So not the nicest weather. As long as we stay below 220 knots, it's all going to be fine. There. And then we've got to be above 4,000 at Adudi, and then at 3,500 at Zinlo. That should all be fine. We are getting bounced around a little bit. This thing's struggling to maintain a proper descent gradient here a little bit. There's no terrain in the area according to the charts, so we should all be fine in terms of that. Minimum altitude on this section, this thing's 4,000. That's the minimum halting altitude as well, so. And transition altitude 8,000. We'll set QNH now to 998, I'm pretty sure. Yep, we have got the new weather through now. It is still raining. Clouds broken at 1,000, so that should be okay. Broken at 1,000 feet. Still got a little bit of time then to prepare for arrival. As long as I can see the runway by then, we should be all fine. Looking like, you know, we've got 2 minutes to Bavard. It's going to take us just over 2 minutes to get to 5,000, so it seems to have timed it pretty well. Showing about this weather, we've got ice detected as well, so let's go ahead and fire up that. Fire up the anti-ice. Can I see anti-ice on the, can I see ice on the wings or anything? No, I can't. So you can't see it, that's the answer, but it would have been nice to. We've got no ice appearing on the windows at the moment, but I'll keep it on throughout the arrival just in case there's ice, because, you know, I'm surprised we didn't get ice to part in figures. As you can see now, the ice will start melting because it's actually above, it's actually 2 degrees. So once we go above 5 degrees, we can get rid of anti-ice because, you know, the plane should be able to do it by itself. No, not the plane, physics should be able to do it by itself. As you can see there, look, the ice warning is gone now, so we'll go ahead and turn off anti-ice. And if there's any more ice forming, the temperature should just take care of it, because we are now in positive temperature. I haven't heard anything on Unicom from the other 2 planes on the ground at Oslo, so we'll just leave that. Go on to the ILS chart now, heading into Adudi. I'll make sure this is down to 10 nautical mile range, and we can turn off the weather radar now. I don't want to know about any weather that's going on now. It's not really relevant. Rudder trim's looking all good. Just try and line it up. There you go, rudder trim's looking all good. It's a little bit, actually it's quite hard to trim the rudder because of the fact that we're bouncing all over the place. It's not really helping matters. Right, this can now go into max power mode for landing, which you have to use for landing. We're 30 miles out, so we may as well go on to that. Whoa, we are being blown around quite a bit, look at that. You know what, I think we can manage 900 RPM for now, because we really don't need all that speed. Right, we've passed there, so we can go down to 4,000 now. Again, vertical speed, probably about 1,000 feet per minute. And we've got to be below 200 knots. It's 5 degrees outside now, so a lot nicer. Whoa, it's cloudy though. It's not the best of days in Oslo. Apparently it is raining, so we are going to get some rain. Obviously, unfortunately, it's such a shame we can't see rain effects on the windshields. I would love that to be a thing in FSX, but obviously it isn't. Oh, I put down the throttles a little bit too much there. Right, on the approach now, this can set onto... I'll set this onto nav 1 now. Make sure the course again, it's already set to 193, so this thing should hopefully latch onto the ILS at some point, because it starts at Adudi and then Zinlo. I'll take over heading until we manage to get it active. So I'll get ourselves vectored to Zinlo, and hopefully we'll just activate the approach. We'll you know, because the glide slope I can see. Right, this can go down to 33,500 feet now. I can see the glide slope is with us, but I can't see the... Oh, this weather's not nice for this plane. This weather's really not the greatest. Right, there you go, there's the localizer, it's live. There you go, we're on the localizer now. We're waiting on the glide slope, finally. And everything should all be ready for approach. We've still got about 16 miles to go. So I'll just wait until we're on the glide slope and all that. But yeah, this is not nice weather. It might be quite difficult to land this thing. I normally have bad landings in this thing, let alone in poor conditions like this. We've actually got 3 planes on the ground in Oslo now. It's getting quite busy.
2,500.
Let's give it a little bit of power. I can hear the rain outside now. There it is. Can't see the runway just yet. Not really expected. There's the runway, look, 9 miles away we are. So I'll start to drop back the power. This thing's going to moan at me for just putting in, there you go, flaps 5 is the max it'll allow us. We'll go max power now on the engines. And let this thing's airspeed hopefully drop down to about, you know, a decent approach speed of 120 knots, because we are a little bit quick right now. There you go, 170 knots it's got down to now, so the speed is slowly decreasing. But I can't see the runway yet, so, and 200 feet above sea level is when we're meant to see it. Minimum, that's minimums, because this thing uses decision height, not decision altitude. So, and there you go, we're slowly catching back up with what I consider to be a decent approach speed. We're looking for about just over 120 on the approach speed. Right, drop the gear, flaps, and we'll give it. Oh, not flaps full, by the way. It's flaps 15, isn't it today? There you go, flaps 15 is set. And we are slowly losing speed. We're about 5 miles out though, and I still can't see the runway. Oh, I can see it now, so we're good. We're all good. The weather's not too bad then. It's still not very nice. Might be in for a bit of a rough one here, I think. This thing's doing a bit of a rough dive, almost, to get ourselves down properly. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully it's not too rough of a landing, but something tells me it might be. This plane doesn't cope well with large winds, and I don't have a rudder either, so there you go, we're in line with 19 right, and we're 4 miles out. Looks like the weather's stabilising a little bit now at this lower altitude. Give it a little bit more power now to allow us to stay about 120 knots. Right, I don't want to disable the autopilot here because of the nuts weather, but I'm going to have to. What on earth? I can't control the plane, it's being rocked around so much. Okay. This could be quite tricky actually. plane just feels like a mess. It doesn't want to be flown, like, whatsoever. I'm having the opposite problem today. I'm pushing all the way down and it's not landing. It doesn't want to lose altitude, unlike yesterday. It was the opposite. No, Thursday it was the opposite. Didn't want to gain altitude. What's going on? There you go. I think I've got it under control a little bit now. Let's bring in the mouse rudder to help us. I'm a little bit high now because I haven't been able to lose altitude. Whoa, we didn't pick the best day to fly into Oslo today, did we? It's absolutely, well, horrible weather is the only way I can describe it. It's starting to calm down a little bit at a lower altitude. And we're maintaining 120 knots as well, which is important. We're going to get sink rate warnings now. Oh dear. Well, I've got the plane under control a little bit more. Now it feels okay. It actually feels, you know, flyable.
100.
But I'm pushing the plane down all I can. And this thing does not want to go down.
Sink rate. Sink rate.
I mean, this thing's not the best to land at the best of times, but today certainly isn't the best of times. Come on, let's get under 500 FPM.
20, 10.
Oh, there we go, minus 435. I have done much worse in this plane, believe me, and then a minus 65 at the end. I'll take that. I will happily take that. I will happily take that. That was not too bad given the wind. I have done worse in better conditions. Right, we're not going to meet this exit, so... Yes! We're down. It was a bit of a rough initial touchdown, but it didn't burst the tyres, so I don't care. It didn't burst the tyres, right? No! Yes, I survived. And then we had a very soft touchdown after that, but, you know, that one didn't really count. But there we go. I'll take that with these conditions. Oh, wow, it's not a very nice day here in Oslo. I mean, it's thick with rain. Rather horrible, really. It's not the greatest. We'll vacate here on Alpha 6 and we'll taxi into the terminal. What are our preferred gates here at Fly UK? Let's have a look. Preferred gates here are 2, 3, 7 and 9. Okay. I'll have a look if I can get any of those. Right, gate 7 we'll go for. Where is our docking chart? I didn't pin it.
Traffic was 5034 pushing back, stand 81.
Why is the weather so mean today? It's not in a good mood. Right, gate 7. Okay, it's by Kilo where you taxi in. So we'll head all the way down here. And then so all the way down Mike, then down Kilo, and that'll put us right by gate 7. Our scenery is slightly out in terms of it's in the wrong place, even though I have got some updated scenery, but it's slightly out, unfortunately. But we've got updated gates though, so that's the best part. It's very busy here at Oslo for an airport with no ATC. We've got 4 planes on the ground now. I've landed. Flight time 53 minutes in the end, which was only 1 minute more than planned. And then we've got to do the return now. That was pretty fun though, I've got to give that. I'm actually pretty amazed at that landing. I've never done one that smooth in this plane, really, and then given the weather conditions on top of that, I will take that any day. Right, we should have a taxiway about here. We should have a taxiway here to lead us into our gate, but it doesn't exist.
Traffic Marshal 244 will taxi Golf on November to holding point 19 right.
Shall I take that, Stan? I'll take this one up here. Our scenery is way out, unfortunately. I don't understand, why is it, look, in FSX, that airports are in the wrong place? How is it possible for an airport to be in the wrong place? Like, tell me that now. How can it be in the wrong place? An airport. It's in one set place. It's never moved. Right, well, they're that lazy when making the game. They were just like, nah, whatever, we'll just put the airport slightly off of what it is in real life. Like, how is that possible? How can you put an airport in the wrong place? And then the fact that it's not for all airports either, it's only for some. But our scenery is quite a bit out. I won't explain how that... It looks like it's floating, that plane. Is that put at the wrong elevation as well? Or are they on the wrong Q&H or something that's causing some problems? Because it seriously looks like they're floating. Welcome to Vatsim. Anyway, yeah, my scenery is way out. This is Kilo, which is, you know, way off where we are right now. As I said, that's the problem with me not being able to get airports of Norway. But I don't want to install airports in Norway. It's an absolute faff to bother doing, so... I'd rather stick with this. At least it's up to date. At least we've got, you know... everything accurate, but it's a shame that we have got some slightly out scenery. Right, is our gate this one on the left? It should be. It should be this gate, but I don't see any marshaller. Oh, is it that gate there? I think it's that gate. Okay. I don't see the marshaller anywhere though. Where is he? Or is it one of those weird ones where the marshaller sort of doesn't exist? Oh no! We've got the black texture on the cockpit. Hopefully that will just fix itself, but I really do hate it. Why does it happen? That's what I want to know. It's a weird bug. There you go, I see our marshaller now. There's the floating Norwegian over there. Yeah, my scenery is like way out. Like it's actually out by quite a lot. Oh well. This thing's very good at taxiing slowly though, so we can manage it fine. Can you explain how we go backwards when I release the throttles? I don't explain that.
Come on, traffic with FF034 taxiing to Uniform runway 19 right via Romeo, Victor and November Alpha 7 intersection.
Right, cut the engines. I'm going to go open the doors. Hello and welcome everybody to a very rainy Oslo Gardermoen. There we go. Right, request deboarding. We have got this like texture issue. I guess we'll just try and ignore it. Really. I don't know why this happens. It's one of my... I really hate it about this plane because it's such a nice plane as well. That's what really annoys me. Like, it's a lovely plane this, and then they just ruin it with this simple bug that occurs when you fly it. Right, we'll go ahead and stop recording there. 231 miles we flew in the end, not bad. We'll do another flight now anyway in it, but I'll just go up here, make sure the taxi lights are off. Anti-collisions can come off as well. And that's about it really. We'll leave everything else on, I guess. External power can get on now, and we'll make sure... Oh, I didn't fire up the APU. Not that that seems to have mattered. Seems as if we're okay with that. Where's... There go, services. Request GPU. But yeah, the plane doesn't seem to have lost power. That's quite odd. Never mind, I guess. There you go, the GPU is now spawned in, so we should be on external power. Hopefully, so that, well, not that matters actually, we don't need to do anything else. There's the flight summary, look. All the flight, we used 840 kilos of fuel, 53 minutes we spent in the air. Absolutely fine. It doesn't delete the flight plan though. That's what I find extremely weird. Like, why doesn't it delete the flight plan? Right, we want to go direct to 23, and then I can just delete it. No. Okay, how do I just delete the flight plan then? How do I do that? What if I say direct to 21?
Bye, thank you for a wonderful flight.
Does nothing. So I'll have to just delete the whole flight plan then, I guess.
Garmin traffic, now shuttle 244 landing up 19 right for departure.
So yeah, they're all getting out of the way now, all these planes. Right, we'll just delete everything, I guess. I don't know why it doesn't just do it itself. Why can't it delete the flight plan itself? Never mind, I'll just do it. Anyway, cool. There's the flight plan summary. That did nothing. Cool, everyone's deboarding now. We've still got this texture issue, we'll just ignore it. That's how you fix it, just go... I'll try what I did last time, which is go into Task Manager, which refreshes the game, and then go out of Task Manager. It, like, refreshes the game. Unfortunately, that sort of didn't help. Even though it does refresh the game, it didn't help. Never mind, we'll just ignore it, I guess. Anyway, let's go on with planning the next flight now. So we'll go ahead and file the next one on SimBrief now. So we'll just check it's all up to date. 19 right we're going to be using for departure. I'll just check that the weather in... I'll just check the weather down in Bergen is still runway 35, it is. So it's still going to be runway 35 departure. So that's good, I can go ahead and file that.
FSX 034, landing up runway 19 right, got him on traffic.
We'll just ignore this texture bug, I think. I can't be bothered reloading in the plane. I don't want to. I don't know why terrain's been turned on. We'll go to weather radar. Right, flight time's meant to be 48 minutes. We're cruising at flight level 200 today. Okay, I will make sure to load that into Navigraph quickly. First of all, though, I'm going to pre-file. I'm going to disconnect from the network, and then I'm going to go ahead and pre-file the flight. Let's turn off the transponder. I'm going to go ahead and pre-file the flight. So we're going to go to pre-file flight, Vatsim. We're looking for a cruise speed of 316 knots true airspeed today. Okay, I'll go ahead and file that flight plan. There we go, it's been filed. Perfect. We'll use a takeoff calculator later on as well. Now the takeoff calculator I don't think will help us at all because it doesn't say about the runway, so never mind. In terms of V1, you know. Right, let's have a look. Oh yeah, I need to pre-file the flight. Let's do that. I already did that, didn't I? I'm being silly. Right, so I will go ahead. Well, they're still deboarding us. I'll start the next flight now. And I'll go ahead and get it loaded into Navigraph charts. Right, flights, new. From SimBrief, ENGM to ENBR. Unfortunately, that deletes our pinned flights, never mind. Let's have a look at our departures now. We're going to be looking at almost certainly just the ATLAP 7 Delta then. That looks like the best departure for us. And then the arrival, we're going to be using the PESIP 3 Papa. We're going to use an ILS Whiskey 35 with the goaded transition. So I'll activate that. Perfecto. Add that to the route. So everything's all put into the route now. I'll go over that now. Cool. I'll go ahead and hide the yoke as well so we can go over what we're doing. So we're flying from ENGM, Garden Moen. You know what, before we do this, it looks like GSX has finished deboarding, so let's go ahead and, you know, sort out what's for the next flight. So I want to go to the control panel. We're taking 57 packs on board today. 57 packs. And fuel, we are taking 24905. 24905 on the fuel. So taking quite a bit more fuel actually. So about 200 kilos more fuel. So we'll calculate that. So currently we've got a zero fuel weight of 23.7. We're looking at 23.7. Perfect. Send data to flight sim then. And get rid of that. Unpause it. And baggage weight is going to stay the same. We're just going to change this to 57. And we're going to change the fuel on board to what we have now, which is 24.95. Boom, that's going to get us a gross weight of 26.2, which is perfect. That means we've got the correct gross weight in there, so get rid of that. Perfect, that means we're all good. Go down to flight plan then, and we're going to plan our departure for today. Right, request boarding. And we are taking 57. I can connect to Vatsim again now. Course line today is Skyways 5077, so connect again. Fetch the new one from the server. Good, it worked. File that. Meant to be departing in half hour, that sounds about right actually, so I planned the timetable pretty good. Right, we're departing from ENGM, Garden Moen. Runway is going to be 19 right, number 4. On the at-lap 7 Delta, so that's number 1, with no transition. And then from at-lap, we're jumping on N623 to Pesa, number 4. Activate that, and we're heading to ENBR. Activate that, Flesland. Delete the no link, and then we'll go to menu and go to arrival. We'll enter in ENBR, Flesland. Runway 35. We're taking the Pesa 3 Papa, so number 8. No transition. ILS runway ILS 35 Whiskey, number 2. With the goaded transition, so number 1. Activate that. Perfect. We should see everything all good now, and then we want to make sure there's. Delete that. Delete that, and then we want to make sure there's the no link is still there. Excellent, that means we're all good, and we'll get rid of the with no link at the end. Actually, no, I don't want to get rid of that. Never mind, because we want to keep this no link as well, because it will tell us how long it is left then in the flight exactly, properly, you know. In terms of departure, it doesn't look like there's any restrictions, I don't think. Let's open charts for Oslo, so we want. Obviously we want the airport chart. We're not going to need the parking stand one. And we're going to take the SID chart, which is the ATLAP 7 Delta. Let's click on that, the 7 Delta. It's straight out, maximum 230 knots, which is absolutely fine. It's straight out to ATLAP. Nice, simple departure today. 442-619. No, 442-616-619. 448, and then ATLAP, all perfect, no restrictions then, and we'll check the arrival then we'll check our arriving airport now. So we want ILS 35 and taxi charts, we want the airport and the parking stands, and we'll also take the star chart, which is the, where is it, Pesa 3 Papa. And restrictions, we need to be at 10,000. No, we need to be above 10,000 or below 10,000. Great. Minimum holding altitude is 100, so we need to be above 100. That shouldn't be a problem then, should it? And the procedure has not changed for a little bit. Cool, it's all good then. I'm all happy with that. We need to be above 8,000 at BR736. We need to be above 10,000 at Pesa then as well. So let's put that in. So above. How do I put in above? What if I put in 100 and then above? Look for A. No? I don't know how to put in that then. We'll leave it then. We'll just leave it with no restriction. We need to be at set. Yep, that's fine. At 6,500. So that's what we'll make our descent for at BR73. And then we need to be there at Ratug still. So we'll make our descent to 6,500. We're cruising today at 20,000. We've got no restrictions on departure. 7,000 is the transition altitude here in Oslo. Absolutely perfecto for us today. All fine. So this can go straight up to 20,000 straight up. Excellent. Everything should all be ready then. We'll get IAS climb mode activated in here. And up to 220 on there. Altitude select, and then we want LNAV. Make sure this is set to FMS1. We want LNAV set in there. All perfect. Boarding has just been completed as well. So we'll go ahead and get the APU fired on. Get the APU fired up. Nice. And we'll close all our doors. Okay, all the doors are closing. And yeah, there are a few more planes on the ground here now. And by the looks of it, yeah, my scenery is actually quite far out, isn't it? It's not great. Sorry. Sorry, people. My scenery is totally out. Never mind. We'll ignore that. And I need to go ahead and change my overlay, actually. Let's do that. ENGM. ENBR. Perfect. And we'll just do a quick check of the weather. We're still on the same weather, so 909 at 8 on there. Perfect. And I'll go ahead and get the TCAS set. Gardner traffic, Skyways 5077, push and start. We're going to be taxiing to runway 19 right. Okay, yeah, may as well just use voice intercom, thought. Connecting on Vatsim network. We'll go ahead and get pushback and departure set. Do you want the request pushback? What? I just said that. I just said that. No? I didn't just say that. I wanted pushback. Huh? Well, you have a good trip. I want to push back. My parking brakes are turned on, GSX. Okay, GSX is being a bit old. Can I get them to reset? Let's reset GSX and let them reload in, because that was a bit weird. Right. Okay, GSX has just quit on us. Thank you, GSX. Okay, we'll use the default pushback then, I guess. Thank you. This thing does actually come with built-in. This thing comes in with built-in, so I'm okay.
Release parking brake.
Oh, there we go. GSX just decided to quit on us. Thank you.
Parking brakes released.
Thank you, GSX, for just quitting on us like that. I don't know what happened there, but
Back now. You're clear to start the engine.
we had a little bit of a bug. Right, we're clear to start engines now, so it's going to start pushing us back, so we can. No, wait, no, there you go. Start engine, start and feather. All the fuel's loaded in, perfect. Yeah, I have no idea what happened there. But never mind. Engine starting now. This can go into normal. Let the engine start up. We got a good start, yep. I don't know what happened there, guys. And we can push back right then. No, wait, no, that's not right. That's left. But yeah, it's so cool that this thing actually comes with a built-in pushback system as detailed as this. You know, none of the other planes tend to have this. But we'll end pushback here. Not bad for a manual pushback.
Pushback complete. Set the parking brake.
Parking brake set. This can go into normal now. Introduce the fuel.
Can we get clearance at number 1?
It's 9 degrees outside, so we shouldn't need.
Control is free and clear of non-secure.
Shouldn't need
Start the engine number 1.
anything just yet. Alright, engine 1. Both engines are all started. Look. So that's gone back to normal, so we can go ahead and whack this up to maximum power now. Ready for taxi and takeoff. Perfect. We'll just let the plane fully start itself up. I don't know why the decision altitude is on there. Oh, that's the pressure. I'm just being silly. We haven't had any new weather 3 for Oslo, so Guardsman traffic, Skyways 5077 will taxi down November to holding point runway 19 right. Guardman traffic. Perfect. Let's go ahead and get ourselves out of here then on the second flight of the day. Let's get the weather radar active as well, wherever it is. Where are you, weather radar? Where have you gone? There you are. Turn it on. I don't have to restart the clock, so I just press that. That's the chrono. There you go, that restarted the clock, fine. Excellent. Right, we'll taxi down here now. We have got a bit of out-of-date scenery, sadly, but never mind, just ignore that. So we'll be taxiing straight down there, turn right down there, and then just straight down November all the way to the end of the runway. Quite a nice, simple taxi here at Gardermoen Airport. Make sure our anti-collision lights are turned on. And we'll make sure our taxi lights are turned on. Got no warnings up there. For some reason, yeah, that happens sometimes. It didn't happen in Bergen, amazingly. But, you know, yeah, the window's fogged up on us. Right, APU can turn off. I wonder why the window just fogs up sometimes on this plane. It doesn't always do it either. That's a weird thing. It only does it sometimes. Right, we're taxiing out now. Yeah, this stream will be a little bit longer than the usual 2.5 hours, I think. I didn't plan it the best, maybe. The position of these taxiways is pretty much bang on. It's the position of the aprons and things that are slightly off. Like this one, the chart is registering that I'm taxiing down November pretty much. I'm on November, so it's perfect. I don't know what... Is the weather radar... Oh, it's doing a test. Why is it doing a test? I don't want a test. I want the actual... Yeah, it's turned on. Why is it doing a weather test? Confusion? Much? Like, I'm not interested in weather test. I want to do actual weather. There you go. For some reason, even though it wasn't in test mode, it was doing a test. We fixed that quickly, though. It's picking up just the same sort of weather, though. That's because the weather's horrible outside today. Yeah, we're taxiing down November here. I don't know, actually, I've only just noticed the cockpit texture issue seems to have fixed itself, thankfully. Oh, hang on a minute, I've been pretty dumb. I forgot to cross-fill the flight plan and the fuel. I will do that now on the other FMC, so I can actually see what I'm doing on both sides, and then this can go onto the fuel page. We're looking for about... what? Right, I'll tell this to go direct to number 3 so I can actually see something. There we go, 220 miles. That's about accurate. Well, heading straight down here. It'll be quite a nice departure actually on the ATLAP 7 Delta. I don't think we've got any approaching planes, do we? No, we don't have anything approaching, so I'm all good to take off. There's 5 planes on the ground here at Oslo. I don't know why it's so busy today. Does bad weather attract people? It's also stopped raining, which is rather nice. QNH is still 909 at 8, perfect, that's all we really need to know. 190 at 14 the winds, so still the same terrible winds that we had earlier. But everything's all set up for takeoff. It's quite a long taxi down here actually, down to the end of the runway. I doubt we'd actually need the full runway, but we're using the full runway anyway, because why not? How do I get rid of that speed bug thing now? Seriously, how do I get rid of that speed bug thing? Or does it just go on its own? It better go on its own now. It did. Good. Oh, this isn't the nicest of weather, is it? all gloomy and rainy. Why is it still raining? The weather says it stopped raining. Oh well. Finally, the windscreen's actually unfogged, I guess, if that's a word. It's meant to be 10 degrees outside, that's why it's actually 9 now, according to the plane. Never matter. Never mind. Yeah, taxiing along nicely here. We'll turn left up here and then we'll take off. Nothing is approaching. What on earth? There's 7 planes on the ground here at Oslo. And there's no ATC. What on earth is going on? Why is it so busy here in Oslo? 7 planes. That's not normal. That's one thing I have to say though. I get such a nice FPS in this plane. If there's one thing I'm going to comment this plane about, it's definitely the FPS I get in it. It's absolutely wonderful. Like no other plane. Normally I get about 25 FPS, 20 even when it's this busy. But in this plane, you know, I'm getting absolutely amazing. I'm getting 45 FPS and it's cloudy, raining with 7 planes. It's absolutely amazing. That's not normal. You know, so this plane that is one compliment. And the graphics look great as well. It's not low quality by far, so that's nice. Gardermoen traffic, Skyways 5077, departing runway 19 right, Gardermoen traffic. There you go. I'm getting more into using the voice Unicom, I think. However, I'm still not decided on whether it's better than, you know, the other Unicom, like using text. I think text might still be better, you know, but whatever. But we're taxiing onto the runway now, so that means taxi lights can come on and taxi lights can come off. I didn't turn off the seatbelt signs, so when we landed, they just stayed on. Right, taxiing ourselves onto the runway, we'll get the mouse yoke ready now, once I'm lined up. We'll get the mouse yoke ready, because we are almost certainly going to be blown away on this takeoff. I have no doubt in my mind about that. With this awful weather we're having today, here in Gardermoen Airport, and in Bergen, it's just the same rubbish weather over there. Welcome to Norway, I guess, isn't it, really? What do you expect? Right, this plane should hold itself here while I get the mouse yoke ready. Everything's good, TCAS is turned on, weather radar's turned on, we don't need anti-ice yet, landing lights are turned on, taxi lights are off, everything's all ready to go then. Clock is automatic and everything, all the procedures and all that is in. Right, get the mouse yoke turned on and we'll start. We go initial power. Just let flaps 5 are set, yeah, perfect. And power is set. Forgot we can't use the yoke on takeoff. That's what I'd normally do, obviously. I have to use the rudder in this plane. 8 knots. And there you go, we are in the air. In the air successfully, and actually the weather seems to be a little bit better, a little less cloudy maybe. And we'll get the autopilot turned on now. Flaps can come in. Yeah, I don't know, the weather still says broken at 1,000 feet, but it's looking a lot nicer than the landing, this weather. My transition altitude is 7,000, yeah. Perfect, and we're just going to be following the departure now as we gain speed. And then once we finish gaining speed, I'll go back to 900 RPM on there. That's pretty nice initial takeoff there. And then we're going to start turning on to the departure. We've got max 230 knots, again, no problem at all for us. This thing doesn't really do it above that. We're in the clouds now, very thick cloud. There we go, we are now out of the clouds. Doing a pretty nice job at 2,000 feet per minute. I won't bother putting it down to 900 RPM for a little bit, because we're still gaining some speed that is needed to get a decent climb out of this thing, really. yeah, today, through using the mouse yoke, we've had some better luck. Right, back to 900 RPM, because this thing can actually climb properly now. There we go. Got a proper nice climb speed on now. And we'll make our way over to Atlap on the departure. And then from there, we'll be on the route. Transition altitude in 2,000 feet. Fine. We'll keep 220 knots climb speed now until, well, probably until we start to get too slow for it. We're going all the way up to 20,000 today, so 1,000 feet higher than we did last time. We're above the clouds now, so no more rain. It's very cloudy over Norway today, isn't it? Not the nicest of weather, and now I've taken off. There's still 7 planes on the ground in Oslo because someone else must have spawned in. So you would have thought there was an event on, but there isn't. Right, passing 7,000 now, so we'll go ahead and go standard pressure. I know the overlay doesn't really keep up with the altitude in this thing for some reason. It's not capable of like following the altitude of this thing. I have no idea why. But there we go. And after Atlap, that's probably where I'll turn on the seatbelts, because that's when turn off the seatbelts, because that's when we'll be nice and stable. Excellent then. That is us safely in the air. I'll go ahead and get rid of the SID chart now. I don't need that. And that is us safely in the air. I'll start planning for the arrival once we're at cruise. And there we go. Nice. Very, very nice. We are safely in the air. And coming up to 10,000 feet now. I may as well just turn the landing lights off now. And look at that. And now we've taken off. Look, the FPS in here is absolutely wonderful. You know, it's 50, 60 FPS. Nice, you know. It's not normal. Well, and especially considering there's so many planes loaded in and the large airport of Oslo. Anyway, passing 10,000 feet now. Still maintaining a pretty impressive climb through all of this, which is nice. Still plus 2,000 feet per minute, which is what we want. Quite a sharp turn here on this SID. There are some interesting SID procedures here at Oslo. I don't know why we couldn't just go direct to Atlap, if you see what I mean. Don't know what stopped us doing that, but maybe in real life it's a bit more congested than it is in the sim, obviously. Maybe that could be it. You know, that tends to be the reason for a lot of these weird airport procedures like we had in Dubai. I know that wasn't a stream, but landing in Dubai I had that. Like a sort of weird, like, you have to get vectored around the airport using the star. And things like that. You have it with Tel Aviv, where we sort of flew the wrong approach, and then when it's like a weird congestion thing, it just helps with congestion because, well, you know, the skies are so busy, aren't they? Right, passing 12,000, so we've got 8,000 feet left up to cruise now. Looks quite nice out there. And we're passing about 16,000, 17,000 feet. I probably will back off to about 210 knots on the climb to make sure this thing can maintain a, you know, a half decent climb gradient. Really, I would just turn off the seatbelts now, but don't think I should. As we've still got quite a few kind of sharp turns to deal with yet. Currently nothing heading for Bergen. Oh, there's actually someone else on the ground heading for Bergen. A Nordic shuttle on the ground in Oslo, but it hasn't taken off yet, so probably no need to report on Unicom when landing there, unless it gets a little bit busier. Passing 14,000 feet now, got 6,000 left. I will be thinking about turning down the climb speed a little bit, I think. It's a lovely plane, this. Well, I mean, when you're not having that texture issue. But that texture issue did just fix itself. It does do that. You know, it does just fix itself after a while. Although it does take a while. It does take quite a while. But it's a rather nice little hopper flight, this. It's perfect for the Dash 8. I'll probably do it more. It's a nice flight. coupled with the cloudy weather conditions we have over here there are over in Norway. Right, winds are 300 at 6 down in Bergen. Okay, lovely, much nicer. But the bit that worries me, the clouds are broken at 500 feet, few at 300 feet. So we've got some very low clouds. Now we are taking an ILS, so that should be okay. But that worries me. That extremely low cloud ceiling. But yeah, winds are at 6 knots, which, you know, it was 14 knots in Oslo, a lot worse. And the temperature is 11 degrees, so the weather is actually a little bit nicer than it was in Oslo. Right, the climb's starting to slow down now, but if it can maintain 1300 feet per minute without dropping off any more, I will consider just keeping this, because I'd rather be quite, because remember it took ages for us to gain decent cruise speed. Or maybe that's because I think I throttled back too soon. Like, I need to keep full throttle until we've caught up with our cruise speed, which today should be 316 according to SimBrief. 316 true airspeed, which is like 1 knot less than the last flight. Right, we've got 3,000 feet left now, so yeah, I will just keep it like this if it's okay. I may as well turn off the seatbelt signs now. These turns aren't that violent, and we're basically up at cruise now anyway, so let them roam around. It's nuts that. It's like Bergen, we'll probably be at cruise by the time we finish the SID, basically, almost. However, yeah, as you can see now, look, our climb gradient has really fallen off. You know, we're managing 1100 feet per minute, which isn't really ideal. Hopefully when we stop turning, that will help us a little bit.
On traffic, North Shuttle 616, push and start from Stan 24.
Okay, the flight on its way to Bergen is now pushing back. See, that's cruising at 28,000 feet, look, with a true airspeed of 422, so it might actually overtake me. That'll be interesting if that happens. Might be a bit close by the time we get down there. I don't know what route it's taking, I'll have a look. It's taking the same route as me, so that'll be interesting. Because obviously I've already got in the air and it hasn't taken off yet, but it's going to be cruising about 100 knots quicker than me. But it's only pushing and starting now, so hopefully I can get a little bit of distance on it. We'll try and push for a bit of a quicker cruise, maybe. Right, we're down to 1,000 feet per minute, but we've only got 1,000, you know, we've only got a little bit left now until cruise, so it doesn't matter. But anything above 20,000, that's when this thing really starts to struggle. If you can see here, look, the speed, look, max speed that this airframe is capable of, look, peaks at 18,000. And then as soon as you go above 20,000, look, as you can see, it all maintains pretty much a solid grade. Between 10,000 and 20,000, there's almost no difference. And then you go to 25,000, and that number just falls. So even though this thing is capable of getting up there, I don't like taking it up any higher than really 20,000. Any higher than that, and this plane is a pain to deal with when it comes to climbing. You can see there, it's managed to get ourselves up to 20,000 feet. Fine. There you go, we are now at cruise and gaining some speed, that's nice. I'll power back on the throttle once we are actually steady at 20,000, which we still haven't got to properly. Still waiting on the plane. And Pacer is actually not that far away. And we need to be, that's where I'll descend to. 6,500 at BR734. That makes no sense. That thing. To be fair though, it's actually between 6,500 and 8,000. Right, what if I change this then? I'll tell it we need to be at 7,500. And then at Ratug, we do need to be at 6,500. It helps me, like, you know, plan the descent more, but it doesn't seem possible. It is actually quite a sharp route, and we're going to do it 220 knots after BR 734. Right, we're getting some decent speed here. I need to pull back on the throttle. I've gained a bit too much speed actually. I wanted about 315 knots. We've gone a little bit more than that. And we'll try and get about a fuel flow of about 460, 465, that's what we had last time, 57%. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. So we're going to be above 8,000, and then the plane wants us at 6,500 just 5 miles after. That's quite difficult to do. Saying that, it's given us 1 minute to do it, so that should be okay. I'll go and get it set for number 4 then. That's where we'll do our top of descent by. Activate that. 72 miles this thinks. We need to be descending in, okay. Fine with me, that is absolutely fine with me. 71 miles, so 12 minutes from now we need to be descending. Perfect, we are, and also we're actually maintaining our speed alright. Not too bad. Right, let's go ahead and get ourselves set up for the landing then in Bergen. The localizer frequency is 110.5. 1105. Get that set. And we can see it, the ILS, it's registered that it's an ILS, cool. And we need to make sure the course is set to 351. Perfect. And then when we activate it on this FMC, it'll all be in there. Perfect. Now, minimums is going to be, there you go, decision height. We're going to use decision altitude, so MDA we're going to use. Oh, there's both, so they don't really apply then. Okay, we'll forget that then. We'll use decision height. It's going to be 218 above the ground, which is 365 feet. 218. That's radio altitude. Decision height, DH. There you go, 218 is set in there. Just gotta hope now that it's not too bad. The weather, it's not great looking at the clouds. I don't know, we'll get a weather refresh in about 5 minutes, so I've just gotta hope that the clouds are going to be a little bit nicer to us then. Have to see. Now that plane that's doing the same route as us hasn't yet taken off, and I'm already 15 minutes in, so I've got to hope. And there's the speed restrictions on the stars and things I've got to think about. Obviously, for me, speed restrictions don't really affect me, but they really affect the faster planes. Oh, sorry, I saw someone was in the chat there. Yeah, I'm having a weird bug with my phone then, I must be. Because chat isn't appearing on my phone. Oh, okay, yeah, they're in it now. That's really odd. I've just realised that chat, for some reason, isn't appearing on my phone. That's really odd. I can see it now. I've gone back into it. Okay. Oh, there we go. Sorry if I missed your message. Anyone watching? It's odd. Okay. Well, if some reason chat messages weren't coming through on the phone. Who knows why? There you go. The speed is actually starting to come down now to what it should be. We're looking at landing with plenty of fuel. We're landing in about 25 minutes. This thing's estimated flight time is meant to be 48 minutes. Yeah, no ATC today. We haven't had any at all. It is a shame that we haven't had any, but this plane's been behaving as well, so I wouldn't mind it having ATC. Anyways, maybe I will fly this plane again. And now I'm starting to get the hang of it after flying it twice in one way. I bet next time I come back to it, though, I'll be like totally a stranger to it again then. It's been pretty fun. Actually, that's what I was going to do. I'm going to do a landing calculate. Landing weight calculator. So let's have a look. So current weight, our zero fuel weight was of course 23.7. So we're probably going to be landing. How much fuel are we going to be landing with? We're going to be landing with. We're going to lose 400. We're going to be landing with 1,600. So we've lost about 1,000. So our weight is going to be about. Is there anywhere that tells me what my landing weight is? Landing weight 25,424. So if you round it 25,000 kilos. We're going to use flaps 15. Calculate. Yeah, perfect. Flaps 15. Should be great for this arrival again. We're not heavy enough to justify flaps 35, and it's not raining. It's not anything crazy down there in Bergen. It's not icing conditions. I think we've had a weather update from Bergen, and the clouds have lifted a little bit. We've got few at 500, broken at 700. Wind is 320 at 5 knots. QNH is 1000. And it's 11 degrees, so not bad. Weather's a little bit nicer then. And we are descending in 42 miles. Okay, not long then until our descent. We're descending just before Pesser. So we've got to be at 6,500 at BR 734. So we're descending down to 6,500. And then we'll be there until Ratug, and then after that, after the brief stay at 6,500, we will be going on to the approach, and we've got to be above 4,000 at Godid, and then we're on to the ILS. We have actually got a duplicate waypoint, so I'll go ahead and delete that. Perfect, that means we are all good now. On the ILS, the ILS starts at Adava, that's where the glide slope starts. We need to be at max 200 knots like in Oslo, so pretty nice simple approach really. Just got to be at 6,500 on that initial descent, and I can manage it from there myself. Right, that plane still hasn't left. Oh, never mind, that was 5 minutes ago. There you go. It's just left Oslo. It's at 3,500 feet. So I'll have to watch that plane. Oh, no, mind, that's the one going to Billund. That's not the one going to. That's not the one going to Bergen. So we're still fine. Oh, come on! Oslo Tower just came online now. Are you actually kidding me? I'm sick of this now. I always get really the plane to Bergen just left, just as Tower came online as well. So yeah, they had Oslo Tower online, that's a shame. Could have got some ATC, never mind. I mean, that was still 20 minutes ago, so. Okay, there's our top of descent marker. I can see it on there now. So I'll just continue to cruise along at this for now. But yeah, that plane has now left for Bergen, so I'll have to watch its sort of, its ETA, I guess, in comparison to mine. I mean, right now it's obviously 40 minutes behind me, but that's going to change. So I'm going to be descending so soon anyway. I mean, it wouldn't have caught up by then. It's not going to happen long at cruise, I shouldn't think. It's going all the way up to 28,000. I only went at 20,000. And I'm going slower as well. Even though this thing is also quite a slow climber. But yeah, it's a lovely livery, this. I was just thinking. It's really nice. We've done some pretty good flying today. The stream is going to be a bit longer than usual. But not too long. I think I've timed it alright. We've still got 115 miles left to run yet. So there's still got a little bit of time to go. So there you go, look. We are descending in just over 20 miles by the looks of that top descent marker where it is. The weather's looking okay at the moment, but we've got some red further on. I'm not sure how accurate that is though, because so far the weather radar on this thing's been pretty much useless. If there's weather, there's weather. If there isn't weather, there isn't weather. Is how it's basically been played. Right, I'll just check my landing altitude actually. Let's set the landing altitude. 166 is the altitude, so that's going to be 124 on there. That's going to be our landing altitude. Lovely view out here of the lovely prop, the turbo prop that this thing has. Yeah, obviously that North shuttle will be on the departure, but it has started closing me in already. I think I'll be okay, despite the fact that I'm going slower. It's currently at the same speed as me. That's what it's doing right now, at the same speed as me. But once it passes the speed I'm doing, then it will be... It might start catching me then. As long as it doesn't do it too much, it should be okay. And obviously I'm descending soon anyway. In fact, there's the VNAV path that's just come live on my screen. Oslo Town went online like just as we were getting in the air. That's a shame. Yeah, it's up to 350 knots now, that plane, so it is going to start reeling me in as it gets quicker and quicker, but I'll have to watch. Apparently its true airspeed was meant to be 422, which is about 100 knots more than me. So if it is 100 knots quicker than me, that will possibly be a problem, but then it's obviously going to have to descend and slow down because of the fact that you have to stay, you know, we have to be max 220 knots at BR734, so after then it'll be the same speed anyway. That's what I'm going to have to hope for, I think. It's up to 380 knots now, so it's properly starting. But saying that there's still 13 minutes between us, and I'm going to start ascending now, so it should be okay. How long till descent? 7 miles, yeah. Nothing. Absolutely nothing until descent now. 7 miles. That's absolutely fine. Turn us down at 20. Oh, what on earth? We're still in 10 nautical mile range. Are you sure, plane? No, we're not. We're not. Slight weirdness going on there. Well, I'll put that down to 20 nautical mile range now, so I can actually see what I'm doing a little bit more. And that somehow completely changes the weather pattern. Makes me wonder how, but okay. Because there were like little green bits of weather around here, and then those little dashes sort of went. Unless maybe they're off to the edge, but obviously isn't covered anymore. That's probably what it was. Now we've got 15 miles left to run now, so until our descent. No, until Pacer. Pacer? Is that what it's called? Like, I don't know. What's that message? That's to say we're at. There you go. Yeah. We're by VNAV altitude is what that meant to say. Right down to 6,500. Click VNAV. And down to 6,500. Oh, rip. We're actually getting loads of speed by accident here. I totally forgot to go minimum power and to idle it, so I've accidentally. Luckily, there's no speed restrictions. We kept it from over speeding, but I'll have to lose that speed now. Oh my god, that helped me stay ahead of that other plane though. I'm trying to save a bit of fuel now, I guess. We have started our descent now. Clouds aren't looking too bad right now. We're not going to have some new weather through on Bergen for about 20 minutes, at which point we'll probably be on the ground, so... I've just noticed this display is lagging like crazy. Why? This display is okay, look. Yeah, this display isn't lagging at all, so I wonder why that one's lagging so much, I don't know. Like, this one isn't lagging that much either. Is that a bug, or is it meant to? Like, does it do that in the real aircraft? Is it that low FPS? Who knows? All looking good up there on that panel. Right, I think when we get to about 15,000 feet, I'll go ahead and fire up the, you know what, I'll do it now. I'll get on the seatbelt signs. Just in case the weather is as bad as the weather radar is saying. However, I highly doubt that, because it doesn't ever seem to be like that. Yeah, this thing's mildly lost the VNAV path, because we hit a new waypoint, and that changes its opinion on the VNAV path. We're off by 700 feet, so it'll catch back up with us hopefully, because we're only doing 1500 feet per minute now. So it should just catch up with us pretty quickly. And I have trust in the VNAV path, it managed it last time. All fine. We're passing 15,000 feet now. Yeah, this red weather on the weather radar doesn't really seem to do anything. Then when we get to it, look, it gets pushed back. It gets pushed back every time. However, we are going to start falling into the clouds. We haven't got an ice warning yet, but I suspect we may have. I don't know, the fuel temperature is currently nice and warm, but I suspect we are going to have possibly some issues with ice if we end up going through clouds while it's still minus temperature outside. We had an ice warning until it was about 2 degrees outside, and then it went away, so that's obviously what this plane likes. Right, we need to be at max 220 knots a bit later on, not yet. Right, this can go down to 10 nautical mile range now, because I can start to see the rest of the approach. Oh, we're catching up with our VNAV path now. Finally. After BR 734, I will manage the descent myself. We've still got a few thousand to descend before then. Hope everyone's enjoying the stream, by the way, anyone watching. Back on the power a little bit. That plane that is now at cruise, however, it's not going to be at cruise for very long, I don't think. At the moment, I'm still going to be there 7 minutes ahead of it, look, so there's no danger of it overtaking me then. And we are coming up on those clouds. It's -8 outside, so it's still cold enough for ice. Definitely cold enough for ice out there. Hopefully the landing's going to be okay without, you know... So far the plane's feeling more stable than it did in Oslo. Oh, that clock's still going, look. 1 hour 25. That's how much flying we've done all day then. Obviously, I didn't reset that one. I only reset that one. Right, I'm going to start slowing down in preparation for max 220 knots. We've caught back up with our VNAV path now. However, I have to tally it to follow it again. That's kind of odd, but never mind. It's going to start doing 1800 feet per minute again now. I'm going to try and make sure it's under 220 knots now, this plane. Because I want to be under that by the time we hit this waypoint, really. And the restriction isn't until the one after that, but I'd rather do it now. Right, there's 10,000. We'll go and get the line lights on. Well, 8,000 is our transition altitude, so no transition level. QNH is 1000. When there's 3 zeros, it actually gets quite hard to count. By the end of it, you're like, did I say 3 zeros or did I say 2 zeros? I can't remember. Right, passing 10,000 feet now. We've got to be above 8,000 at this next waypoint. I think this thing should be okay with that, and then we need to be at 6,500 then for a little bit, and then I'll probably manage the descent myself from there to the ground. So we are going to be at 6,500 for a little bit. Right, it's now positive temperature outside, and we've had no ice warning, so we're all fine. Right, passing 9,000 feet now, down to 6,500. It's starting to get very cloudy, however, we shouldn't get any ice warnings now because we're into positive temperature, so we should be alright. We made above 8,000, fine there. Every time we hit a new waypoint, the VNAV path changes, I don't know why. But it like changes slightly, the VNAV path, it's weird. So this plane will start descending without a VNAV path now. But it should be okay. Right, there's transition altitude. So we'll set it to 1000. And there's the altitude horn. Well, bit bomb, I guess, in this plane. To tell us. Oh, really? Wait, actually, that's Sweden. We're okay. ESOS Centre just came online, but I'm pretty sure that's Sweden. Yeah, it is Sweden control. Phew. Otherwise, I would have been quite annoyed. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there we go. It's gone into altitude hold at 6,500, so we can give it a little more power now, up to 900 RPM, because we are going to sit here now for the next, well, maybe 8-9 miles. Right, I can now deactivate VNAV. So I'm going to cancel VNAV, there we go, disconnect it. And then from here I'll follow it myself after Ratug. There's a bit more power to try and maintain 220 knots. Here, it's quite a sharp turn, this one. Seems as if we are below most of the clouds though, so even though it said the clouds were broken at like 700 feet, it seems as if that was the main layer of cloud up there. And we've already passed that. This thing is struggling to maintain this climb, actually. No, not this climb, this turn. Proving quite difficult. Plane is starting to get chucked around a little bit now, I think. But yeah, as you can see there, it says the wind is variable, which is true. So the wind's going all over the place. It would still be nice to know what it is, though. Honestly, don't mind. See, after Ratug, we need to be above 4,000, so that's what I'm going to set the selected altitude to. We'll probably do like, you know, just like we did in Oslo, you know, 1,000 feet per minute, or something like that. We should see Bergen Airport in a little bit. We're still 45 miles out actually, so got a little bit of time yet. Weather's not the nicest now, it's getting a little bit bumpy maybe. tell from the speed look going all over the place, being chucked around. This plane does get chucked around quite easily, as long as the flight isn't quite... No, as long as the landing isn't quite this bumpy, I'll be alright. I'd quite like to have a nice calm landing, wouldn't it? Oh, there you go, a cloud just came out of nowhere and formed. So we've got thick cloud again. So we're in and out of clouds at the moment. Oh, I've passed Ratug now, so I can go down to 4,000 feet. About 1,000 feet per minute. I'll maintain 900 RPM because we'll be going up to max RPM later. Doesn't really matter though, when you go minimum speed it's like the same anyway, because 900 RPM and 850 RPM are like really close together anyway. Hopefully when we start to descend a bit more it'll get a bit calmer. That's what happened in Oslo, but it didn't get calm until way lower. But yeah, hopefully we'll just stay at 1,000 feet per minute. We'll be down at 4,000 before Goaded. We've still got 10 miles to go to Goaded actually, but I'd rather just get there. I'd rather get to 4,000 sooner rather than later. I'll do 800 feet, 700 feet per minute. Quite a relaxed descent. We're going to be max 200 knots at Adava. Goaded max 220 like the rest of this. So we should be fine as long as we stick to that. We're passing 5,000 almost now, and the plane's picked up Goaded and it's going straight there. We've got about 2 minutes to get there, so we should be at 4,000 by the time we reach it. The glide slope starts at Adava where we need to be at 3,000, so quite a quick descent maybe after 4,000. Let's get rid of the power a little bit. Make sure we stay below 220 knots, obviously. Okay, there's the altitude horn for 4,000. Well, altitude big, I guess you can call it in this plane. It's 5 degrees down here, so not too cold. Well, it's warming up anyway. A little bit more power. There's Goaded look. So and then we'll turn round to Adava and we'll be on the ILS then. And I'll activate the ILS then. 2. That'll be after Goaded. We're only allowed up to 4,000 at Goaded, so there it is. And you can see the clouds, look, they're not that low, really. They're not as low as it said that they were anyway. I'll give it a bit more power now to help it stay at 220 knots, roughly. That North shuttle plane behind us has started its descent as well. It's currently 340 knots, so a lot quicker than us. Although I'm still going to be there 3 minutes ahead of it, and of course that's going direct. It will start to take a bit of an odd route itself now on the star. Haven't heard anything off Unicom though, so I don't know what star it's taking. Right, plane's getting sort of chucked around a little bit now. We're just about to pass Goaded, so I'll put it down to 3,000 now. And we need to be below 200 knots. There you go, Adava is now the active waypoint. This can now descend at 1,000 feet per minute, just over. And then from there, I'll get the ILS activated, hopefully. That's where the glide path and all that starts. And at this lower altitude, you know, the weather is a little bit nicer, I think. Hopefully we'll start to see some of that red weather disappear as we descend. Right, get back on the throttle now, because I need to make sure we're under 200 knots here. There we go, there's 3,000, so the plane will start to pitch itself up again. And we'll arm approach now. And it's armed, there you go, we're on the localizer now, excellent. Set the heading round to runway heading, and we're just waiting on the glide slope now. Cool, we're established on the ILS, then we're just waiting for the glide slope to pick up. We are currently 15 miles out, so I'll wait until FF35 Whiskey before bothering to put in the max power. There is our airport, I can see it absolutely fine. Right, let's go max power now then. Now I can see the airport, we're in a 10-mile range, so we're not 15 miles out. I can guarantee that, we're more like 7 miles out, look. Okay, speed's going to start dropping now, good. Go flaps 5. We're on the glide slope now as well, so this thing's descending properly. And yeah, it's pretty stable actually. I can barely see any weather on the weather radar, which is nice. Makes a change. Right, 7 miles out, about 6 miles out, we'll drop the gear and start slowing ourselves down closer to that 120 knots.
2,500.
For now, all I can do is just idle the power and let it drop itself quite slowly, which is what it does. Nice, but a pretty successful flight this. All we need to do now is back it up with a successful landing. Who knows if we can do that though. Right, there's 6 miles, we'll drop the gear, and flaps can go to 15. There we go, 15 is set. That'll hopefully slow ourselves down a little bit. And this thing's just trying to follow the ILS, look. That goes the autopilot, I can take control of that now. Plane actually feels alright to handle. Feels pretty nice. A lot nicer than it did earlier. We'll get the mouse yoke ready as well, I think. Need to drop a bit more speed actually, so I'll just, there you go. If I idle it, look, we're losing some speed now. And then obviously now this thing just goes on to terrain mode, because it does that. We're actually slightly too low, so I'll try and get ourselves back on it. Yeah, the wind here is a lot nicer than it was in Oslo. The clouds aren't even that low either, so... Overall, the weather in Bergen, pretty decent. We have had a new weather update, and it still says the clouds are really low, but... Whatever, what does it know? Absolutely nothing, clearly. So now, what's really old is it's axis time that makes the weather, so it should be exact with what it says, but... The weather's the weather, it's unpredictable, I guess. Getting chucked around a little bit here, but not too bad. Passing 800 feet. Gears down, flaps are set, everything's all ready for landing. What am I on about? And yeah, the plane's actually feeling pretty stable. I mean, I need to make sure that mouse yoke is on now. There we go, there's the mouse yoke. Ready for rudder control once we touch down to make sure I actually stay on the runway.
500.
Which is obviously, you know, one of the aims. Hopefully we can have a good landing in this thing. It's so far the approach has felt pretty stable.
Plus 100.
Just got to maintain that with a smooth landing now. I think I'm finally getting a hang of how this thing flies, maybe.
Glide slope.
Continue. We're not below glide slope, we're fine. I only got that warning once, so we're okay. Get a bit more power, try and pitch it
50.
up a teeny bit.
40. 30. 20. 10.
Yes! We did a good landing! First time, look at that, minus 225. That's the same sort of thing I'd do in an Airbus or something. Right, let's slow this thing down now. Hello and welcome everyone to Bergen. Right, 47 minutes flight time there, and a good touchdown, and we didn't get blown off the runway after landing, so all of those things are positives. My scenery is again at Bergen quite far out, I think. If this is Alpha 5, it's way out. Oh, this is Bravo. Yeah, it is quite far out. Right, off go the landing lights then. On go the taxi lights. On goes the APU. Bleed air can come off, I don't need that. Excellent. That is us on the ground with a successful landing in the Dash 8. That is for the first time ever, honestly. I am amazed. Right. Oh, I forgot, we don't have GSX, do we? Because GSX decided to quit on us. For some random reason, who knows why. I clicked reset position and what did it do? It just crashed on me, but whatever. There we go, we've landed. That was a successful landing. Minus 225, that's excellent. I mean, that is like my normal landing quality. And we have actually got another plane on the ground. It is an EasyJet. Heading to Helsinki. Is that a route that EasyJet would do? Maybe. As you can see, my scenery is slightly out, as in very far out. That plane's got proper scenery, I haven't. But anyway, that is it then. We have landed here in Bergen. 2 flights today, 2 hours 40 minutes. Not bad, timed it pretty well in the end. 47-minute flight time and a 53-minute flight time, so overall 1 hour and 40 minutes worth of flying, which that clock should confirm. 1 hour and 41. There you go. Once you factor in the seconds, I guess it is, isn't it? Yeah, my scenery is obviously totally out. This taxiway is actually in the right place, weirdly. It's like Oslo, where one part of the airport is in the correct place, and the other parts of it are in the wrong place. I'll turn left. I'll park somewhere that's not going to disturb that EasyJet. Obviously, on their screen, I'm going to be totally in the wrong place. In the same way, they're in the wrong screen on my place, but they're in the correct place. I'm the one in the wrong place. And there we go, we are now taxiing up to the gate. We'll go ahead and turn right just up here. No GSX obviously, so no one's going to deboard us, unfortunately. We'll just open the doors, the passenger doors, and just hope, just pretend people are going out. And there we go, we'll go ahead and park ourselves up here now. Go ahead and park ourselves up. Now this thing basically does actually park on the lines because of the fact that it is so small. And there we go, we are now parked. There we go, all the lights can come off now. I've got tons of warnings now, being like... Right, request the GPE then, and we will open the doors.
Flesland traffic now shuttle 616 at 6,000 feet. Inbound Godid for ILS runway 35.
We might get to see the North Shuttle land then. Right, on goes the external power, off goes the APU. Bleeds can come off and seatbelt signs can come off. That is it. "47 minutes in the air, reset both clocks." And there we go, perfect. Stop recording the flight there. 210 miles, so yeah, it was a lot shorter that last flight. And there we go, hello and welcome everyone to Bergen. After 2 flights, we started our day here. Oh man, that looks so hilarious. Why do I always have scenery that's in the wrong place? And why don't people fix it? Oh well, that's that I guess. Yeah. Hello and welcome everyone to Bergen Airport. Not bad today, we had 13 playbacks. Not bad at all. I hope everyone really enjoyed this. Try and see that. Can you see the North Shuttle landing? Let's have a look. There we go. Oh, it's still quite far away. Probably won't get to see it landing, but there we go. And we got the Airbus then as well. This looks hilarious. Anyway, everything's all shut off in here. Perfecto. Everything's all good up there. So we'll go outside, have a look at this lovely plane before we finish. There we go. I need to take a screenshot of this thing actually, because I haven't got a decent screenshot of this thing. I really should have done it in the air, thinking about it. I haven't got a Nordic -8 screenshot or a Fly UK -8 screenshot. I should have taken one as well then, but never mind. Take that one. There you go. Well, it can be our screenshot. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. I will leave you with the background music. Be sure to tune in to the next stream, Wednesday, 7 PM BST, for some VFR flying. And then next week, in terms of the big planes, we're going to be flying from Innsbruck down to Ibiza on the Thursday afternoon. Friday afternoon, going to be taking... No, that's in a Eurowings A320, by the way. Friday, I can't wait to fly that A320, by the way. Eurowings, haven't flown it for quite a while. Out of Innsbruck departure. And then Friday, we're going to be flying Fly 2 787-9. Some more 787 action from Ibiza down to Gatwick. That's on the Friday afternoon. And then Saturday morning, we're going to be flying as part of the Singapore Rio Ops. We're taking a Jet Asia A320 from Ho Chi Minh City down to Singapore. That should be great fun as well. Full ATC into Singapore and hopefully in Vietnam as well as part of the event. But obviously that'll be extra if it is there. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will leave you with the background music and bye-bye.